Vladimir Putin is not the kind of figure the world can casually scroll past. Even when people claim they are tired of hearing about him, they somehow still know exactly what he did, where he appeared, and what controversy followed. That alone explains the fascination with his lifestyle. It is not just about money or luxury. It is about power wrapped in secrecy, routine wrapped in mythology, and a public image that feels engineered rather than lived. When people talk about a day in the life of Putin, what they really mean is a carefully controlled ecosystem where almost nothing is accidental. The psychology behind the lifestyle. Putin was born in 1952 in Leningrad, a city shaped by war, scarcity, and survival. His early life unfolded in the Soviet Union, where privacy was rare and loyalty was currency. He later spent years inside the KGB, an institution that rewarded discipline, secrecy, and emotional restraint. That background matters because his modern lifestyle reflects those same instincts. This is not the flashy excess of a celebrity billionaire. It is a fortress mentality. Everything appears deliberate, guarded, and insulated. Even when luxury enters the picture, it does so quietly, often behind layers of deniability. A leader who never really left. Putin's rise through Russian politics was fast, precise, and relentless. By the late 1990s, he had moved from intelligence roles into the very center of state power. Since then, he has remained there for most of his adult life. Over the years, constitutional changes allowed him to reset term limits, potentially keeping him in office until 2036. This kind of longevity changes how a leader lives. When power is temporary, people decorate it. When power feels permanent, people build around it. That distinction explains why his lifestyle is less about public display and more about long-term infrastructure, residences, transport systems, and security bubbles designed to last decades, not election cycles. The official salary versus the unofficial mystery. On paper, Putin's finances appear almost modest. His officially declared income places him closer to a senior executive than to the global elite. He has publicly listed a small apartment, a few vehicles, and limited assets. If that were the full story, it would be one of the most minimalist lifestyles in modern leadership history. Yet investigative journalists, analysts, and opposition figures have long questioned how such declarations align with the scale of luxury reportedly surrounding him. Estimates of his true wealth vary wildly, ranging from tens of billions to figures that sound more like science fiction. None of these numbers are proven in the way a tech billionaire's net worth is proven. Instead, they are inferred through patterns, associates, offshore structures, and assets that appear connected to his inner circle rather than his name. Late mornings and long nights. Contrary to the popular myth of hyper-productive leaders waking before dawn, Putin is widely described as a night owl. Reports suggest he often wakes late, works late, and is most alert deep into the night. His breakfast reportedly happens closer to what most people would call lunch, and his workday often begins in the early afternoon. This schedule fits a man who governs across time zones and thrives on closed-door meetings rather than morning press briefings. It also reinforces the image of someone who does not adapt to the world's rhythm, but expects the world to adapt to his. Food, fitness, and the image of discipline. Putin's diet is frequently described as controlled and restrained. He is said to prefer simple foods like vegetables, fish, and soups, while avoiding sweets most of the time. Occasionally, ice cream reportedly sneaks in, which somehow makes the entire image feel more human. His approach to fitness is similarly disciplined. Swimming, gym workouts, and sports are not just hobbies, they are part of the public narrative. The message is clear: strength, control, and endurance. Even leisure is framed as preparation, not indulgence. Communication in a world without trust. One of the most striking aspects of Putin's daily working life is how little he relies on modern digital communication. Reports consistently emphasize paper briefings, physical folders, and secure landline phones. Whether every detail of this is true or slightly exaggerated, the underlying philosophy is obvious. In a world obsessed with speed and connectivity, his system prioritizes control and containment. It is slower, heavier, and far less convenient, but also harder to penetrate. For a leader shaped by intelligence work, inconvenience is a small price to pay for security. Private life behind closed doors. Putin's personal life is famously opaque. His marriage to Ludmila ended in divorce in 2013, a fact confirmed publicly. Beyond that point, the trail becomes foggy. Rumors about relationships, particularly with former gymnast Alina Kabeva, have circulated for years. Media reports, sightings, and investigations have fueled speculation, while official confirmation remains absent. This silence is not accidental. In Putin's world, ambiguity is protection. The less that is confirmed, the harder it is to attack, analyze, or control the narrative. Residences that feel more like states than homes. Few topics generate as much attention as Putin's alleged properties. The most famous is the palace complex near the Black Sea, often referred to as Putin's Palace. Investigative reports have described a vast estate featuring luxury amenities on a scale rarely associated with a single individual. Ownership has been denied, reassigned, and legally contested, turning the property into a symbol rather than a simple real estate listing. Whether one views it as proof of corruption or an exaggerated political weapon, the palace has become shorthand for excess and secrecy combined. Travel as a mobile fortress. When Putin travels, it is never casually. His official limousine, the Oris Senat, was designed as a statement of Russian industrial pride as much as a security vehicle. Beyond cars, reports describe armored trains, specialized aircraft, and highly controlled travel environments. These are not luxuries in the traditional sense. They are extensions of state power. Movement itself becomes a protected space, sealed off from unpredictability. For most people, travel is stressful because of delays. For Putin, travel is stressful because of threats, yachts, jets, and the art of plausible distance. Luxury vehicles and vessels linked to Putin often exist in a gray zone. Superyachts like the Scheherazade have been seized or investigated by authorities under sanctions regimes, with media reports suggesting links to him while ownership remains formally disputed. Private jets, armored aircraft, and elite fleets are similarly described as linked rather than directly owned. This pattern is not unique to Putin, but it is unusually consistent in his case. The result is a lifestyle that appears extravagantly wealthy without ever being cleanly documented. Everything is close enough to see, but just far enough to deny. Clothes, watches, and quiet signals of status. Unlike celebrities who flaunt designer logos, Putin's wardrobe is intentionally understated. Custom-tailored suits, muted colors, and impeccable fit define his public appearance. Brands like Brioni and other high-end tailors are frequently mentioned, though labels are often removed. His watches tell a similar story. Luxury timepieces worth tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars have been spotted on his wrist, quietly contradicting his modest official salary. These are not mistakes. They are signals meant for those who know how to read them. The real luxury is control. When all the rumors, reports, and investigations are stripped away, one truth remains consistent. Putin's greatest luxury is not gold-plated bathrooms, yachts, or palaces. It is control. Control over information, control over access, control over how much of his life the world is allowed to see. Even the mysteries surrounding his wealth and lifestyle function as part of that control. In a world where visibility equals vulnerability, being partially unknowable is a form of power. A life designed to be unfinished. The reason Vladimir Putin's lifestyle continues to fascinate is simple. It never feels complete. Every answer raises another question. Every denial creates more curiosity. His life is not presented as a story with a beginning, middle, and end, but as an ongoing structure, reinforced, renovated, and defended year after year. Whether admired, criticized, or feared, One thing is certain, his lifestyle is not just how he lives. It is how he governs. If you made it this far, you already know this story isn't really about palaces or yachts. It's about power, control, and the mystery that keeps the world watching. History is being written in real time, and stories like this help you read between the lines. If you enjoy deep dives that go beyond headlines and expose how influence really works, make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss what comes next.